Welcome to Yep Yeah Yes with Marissa and Tamika. I am Tamika here with my colleague, partner, and friend, Marissa.
Hello.
How are you today?
Today I'm fantastic and I'm ready.
Really? I don't think you've ever said that on the show.
Fantastic and ready?
Yeah,
I'm either ready or fantastic.
neither. You usually say I'm fantastic. And then you go into a soliloquy of why you're not really fantastic. You're just faking the funk.
Listen, if I don't fake the funk, what the hell else am I supposed to do?
You gotta,
I
you gotta be real.
right? But I am fantastic.
Okay.
Even when I'm crying,
Oh,
I'm okay.
God. All right. Anyway, so today's topic is Me Too 4. It's the fourth episode in our Me Too series.
Mhm.
We get a lot of feedback. Well, not really feedback, but we get a lot of people listening to our Me Too shows, and so we figured let's do a fourth one. This
Yeah.
one though is a little bit different. It's focused on kids. There's a new trend, I guess, popping up lately on social media, Kids Too, which focuses on many things. One of which is the kids that are sexually harassed
Mhm.
by men and even women in power. And it also focuses on how parents talk to their children about the Me Too movement. So we'll try to tackle a little bit of that on today's show. Um, but first, I want to talk about the initial part that I was saying, which was the children that are kind of sexually harassed or assaulted or what have you. I had never heard of the Kids Too movement until I saw Corey Feldman on the Wendy Williams show, and he was talking about his experiences growing up. We all know who he is in Hollywood, and he's had a long, storied career. Drugs,
He also came
alcohol,
out with a documentary.
right, which I think comes out on Monday.
I believe so, right? But it's on the internet, right?
Yeah, on the internet. It's only going to air twice.
Mhm.
And so, there you go with that. The one thing that always creeps me out a little bit, this has nothing to do with the topic, but, we both are fans of Vanessa Marcel from General
Yes.
Hospital. The fact that he was married to her, like, really?
She's been with
Her whole thing is like,
her repertoire.
her repertoire is just, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just the thought of that is like, okay, whatever. So there you go.
Yeah.
So with this Corey Feldman thing, he's saying that he's going to release the name of the person who sexually assaulted, molested him. And then I think it came out prematurely that it was a guy that was in Little Rascals. He was also on another show.
But I thought he said, didn't he make mention that he was like him and Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, they were all passed around at parties or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, he's made a lot of allegations, and it's like to the point where I actually believe him,
Mhm.
because you start over the past couple years we've been hearing these stories come out of Hollywood. We also have a mutual friend
Mhm.
who's an actress, and the things that she's told me, not like to be salacious or anything, but I'll be like, oh, I like them, and she's like, girl, you don't know, like
Yeah.
the things that she's heard.
Yeah.
And she's not like a Hollywood A-list actor, but she's been in a few things, and she's been around A-list actresses and actors, and so I'll take her word for it. But it's crazy because you hear all these stories, even stuff like the allegations that were made against Michael Jackson and then R.
Right.
Kelly. It's like, and what's the guy, the Roman Polanski?
Mhm.
He left the U.S.
Mhm.
because, and then the guy, the Great Balls of Fire guy. What is his name?
Why do I want to say Howdy Doody?
Who?
I want to say Howdy Doody, but it was the
No.
same actor who played Howdy Doody.
Was it?
Played
No,
his.
he was a singer.
No. It was an actor. I have a train of thought here that this actor that played Howdy Doody played in another movie. I'm doing the 6 Degrees of Separation by Kevin Bacon. If anyone could follow my math here, they would know exactly who I'm talking about. Dennis Quaid played him in the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right, okay. But yeah, so anyway, it's obviously something that's gone on for years, but I think over the past, I should say gone on for decades, but over the past few years, because of the Me Too movement, a lot of stuff has, not that it's come to light, but people look at it with new eyes.
Yeah.
I don't believe that R. Kelly would be sitting in a jail today if it wasn't for the Me Too movement.
Correct, because he didn't before.
Yeah, we all know he was pissing on girls, like
raping little girls.
Yeah,
since
like,
Aaliyah.
Yeah, it's not brand new information.
Right.
But the Me Too movement has made it okay for women to not only tell their truth, but also get like vindication. Or,
right.
Well, I don't know if vindication is the right word, but retribution is not even the right word. I don't want to go into that dark place, even though it's a dark act. But whatever you guys can think of the best word for that. But what are your thoughts?
Wait, on which part?
On everything I just
oh my
vomited
God.
everywhere. First, we'll talk about the celebrity part of it, where it seems to be men. I'm sure there's women too, but men coming out and taking clearly advantage of minors for their own sexual prowess.
Well, clearly, as a woman, as a mother, someone who was formerly a child, like this is completely unacceptable. You can't allow these things to happen, but also the caregivers to these young actors and young people, these caregivers to these actors need to step it up. Like Elijah Wood has made many comments how his parents were very strict with him, and he felt like he never came to the dark side of Hollywood because his parents were so strict with him. He wasn't allowed to go to these parties, so he wasn't passed around.
Right.
He wasn't just dropped off to make connections. Like, you just gonna drop a 12-year-old off unsupervised somewhere?
I think about like Drew Barrymore. Like, she got a story to tell.
Yeah.
She said some things here and there, but she's never really.
I think with her,
she's got to have a story to tell.
But I think with her, she's gone through so much healing because she was so out in right field somewhere.
Right.
She's gone through so much healing that to bring it up would probably backtrack her and where her mental
even like Tatum
health
O'Neal.
Is. Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. Remember how she said this story where like her dad was knocking on the door and she was with some rock star and it was like, all right, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Even, what's her name? Remember she was saying that her father was like raping her? What was her name? From One Day at a Time. Remember that show, One Day at a Time?
I
can't remember anybody's name. But you can see the differences between parents who are advocates for their children.
Mackenzie Phillips.
Mackenzie Phillips, right.
Mackenzie
from
yeah.
the Mamas and the Papas.
Yes.
Her father was a member of the Mamas.
That's what, yeah, she did say that.
But like, you can see the parents who are like opportunists and don't give a shit. Or
the person is like, not on my watch.
Or they're also drug addicts.
Yeah.
And you can see the parents who are like,
not on my watch.
Right.
Not today.
Not today.
Mother effers.
Like, I think about like Brandy. Like, Ray J is a piece of shit, really. I mean, he's not a piece of shit. I shouldn't say that. But their parents were definitely, like, in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the mother was the manager, but at some point in life, it's like, okay, I can't. Like, you're going to, you really about the glitz and the glam.
Yeah. She probably had to let it go hard when it came to him. Like, that's a lot of, like,
but Brandy grew up
give it to God and go to sleep.
But she's a little she seems a little sheltered.
I don't know. I think with her, it's not. I don't know if she seems sheltered, but I think with her, she seems very contrived when it comes to what she puts out in the media.
Right.
Especially like pretending to be married when she was having her first baby. Like, who cares?
But you can definitely see the difference between like her parents and parents who you could see. Kids that maybe were in the same generation as her that may not have had the same kind of support system at home and how they turned out.
And do you know what's because I work with kids and it's like you can really tell there's such a difference between an individual who has a support system, and it doesn't have to be your mom and dad, but you can tell the difference between an individual who has a support system. They receive information differently. They process
Yeah.
your energy differently than somebody who doesn't. There's a fragility that comes with that spirit that doesn't have that support system where you're consistently looking for either reassurance, validation, love, connection with things that don't matter.
Right.
Like I know an individual who happens to be younger who's his form of connection is when it comes to male attention is are you strong? Can you lift that up? You think you can beat up that person?
Yeah,
and that's like that to him is like that shows like if you're strong, it shows that like but what you can see is that this person is trying to communicate in a way that I need somebody who can protect me.
Right.
And he's communicating that in a way that they know how by saying, are you strong?
Yeah.
And like I happen to be a tiny person, but like when I open a water bottle, I was like, or like sometimes like I can't open these juice bottles and it's like, you're not strong. And I know and it's like, yeah, but I know I'm not strong, but
Right.
just because they're big doesn't mean they're strong. You know what I mean? Like he's very like he's looking for things in certain ways, and I could tell like if I don't open the juice today, I'm gonna have to rein in that energy. Like it's like you're not gonna listen for the next 2 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You can see you're around kids all the time, so you can see parents that may be involved in a certain way. But I think when we think about there's like involvement, and then there's you could sleep with my kid. You know what I mean? Like turn your head
Yeah.
There's like a whole nother level of like some wrongdoing. And even like when you think about like the R. Kelly thing, like people got upset at the parents. They're like, you want your kid to have a record deal so bad. And I'm like, yeah, like why? Well, like you just leaving your kid. Your kid is still a minor. And their whole thing was like she was still talking. One of the couples was talking about how she was still talking to him, and they didn't know. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then she turned 18, and she was like, "I'm out." It's tough, but it's like at the same time, like it's like sucks. Like you don't want to always blame the parents for everything, because I mean.
Some
made
parents
choices.
Don't know.
They don't know, or they don't want to know, or they're so focused and caught up in their own whatever's going on in their life, good or bad.
Yeah.
That the last thing they're like, okay, well, the kids here eating dinner with us, they're good.
Yeah.
Like that's all they need to know. They're here, they're eating dinner, they're good.
Yeah.
But I don't need to know what's going on their phone. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But I think like remember that time when Chris Rock made the joke about your only job is to keep your kid off the pole? It's like, no, your job has to be more than just the pole. It needs to be stay away from stranger danger, who might actually be your relative. Like there's a lot. Like you can't just focus on a pole. It's more than a pole.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think like with this Me Too movement, we're so caught up in women being wronged and everything, but it also is important to recognize that the kids too movement should have been the first thing.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny? Whenever we say kids, everybody's thinking 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
You got 16, 17, even
Right.
18-year-olds.
Right.
They kids.
Like I'm looking at Leonardo DiCaprio, like, bro, you're like real creepy right now.
You're disgusting.
Like it was one thing when you were 25 and she was 18, that was still nasty. But bro, you're like 45, 46, and you got a 19-year-old. Same thing with Diddy. I'm looking at you like, bro.
Good. No
like,
good.
what are you doing? You're dating, and you got teenage daughters.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
When your girlfriend, boyfriend can date your child, that's a problem.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I can't wrap my head around that. But I also find that to be like, I'm not saying Diddy's out here crying for help, but it's almost like their perception is muted of what beauty is. Because you can't find beauty in, like, I look at Keanu Reeves, and I hate to put him up as the poster person of somebody who's like so in tune to their emotional, because what you would peg him with to be his significant other, or what everyone else would peg him, I see it as like that is such a perfect pairing.
Right.
Because it's age appropriate. This is somebody who's standing on their own 2 feet, solidly as an individual. So when they come together as a couple, it looks to me as a better fit,
More,
as
yeah,
opposed
more
to like
aligned.
you're raising another kid.
I don't know. It's just I think it. This is why it's hard for me to grasp the idea like anybody's changed or they're about anything when they come out and they start making statements, because all you gotta do is look at their life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the age difference between Beyonce and Jay-Z is like 10 years, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Because you see the peers, like they doing 20 and 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So
I look at my
at the
parents
time though,
too, yeah.
But real quick, at the time when Jay-Z and Beyonce got together, I was like, ew, that is so nasty.
Yeah.
Like, she's like 20, 25.
Yeah. She was 25 and
she
he
was
was
she was
36,
younger than
right?
25 because her album dropped when she was 25. The Crazy in Love.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and they were dating before that.
So, ooh.
And he was in his 30s. I was just like, ugh.
Yuck.
Anyway.
But I still find them to be a perfect pairing for some
Yeah,
reason.
now because
they done grown up together.
Right.
But
He don't raise her.
he don't raise his first baby together.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrible. Like I look at my parents, like I look at my great grandparents. My grandma was 15 when she got married, and my grandfather I think was like 30, 31. My these are my great grandparents. And I can't be like, oh, well, at that time, that's still disgusting.
Whenever somebody says, like, even today, when they try to justify a situation, like what's her name, Bloomberg's girlfriend, with all these lawsuits. You know how he has like the non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah.
And so they asked his girlfriend about it, and longtime girlfriend, who is age appropriate, by the way. They asked her about it, and she was like, you know, that's when boys were boys back then. It was different. And it's like,
No.
yeah, a lot of guys really weren't like that. Like, you can't just
No.
paint everybody with the same fucking brush.
No.
Everybody wasn't grabbing breasts and grabbing
Yeah.
them by the pussy. Like, it's just,
Ew.
no, I'm just saying. Like,
I know. I just hate
like
that.
you can't paint everybody with that
this-
same,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And so even like in your great grandparents era, they're okay, we can be like, well, a lot of people did that, but a lot of people really didn't.
Yeah, a lot of people did it. But and then you look at like cut to today. You know how like they have like in certain parts of the world they have like child brides,
Right.
and you're like, oh, but it's their culture. Not everybody in this culture is doing that. That's fucking disgusting.
I don't even think like we know somebody, and you know, I was going to bring this person up, but somebody was telling this person about that it was basically a police officer told this person that it was basically okay to, I don't know how to say this without getting too like, so basically there's a person out there that was with a 16-year-old, a man that was with a 16-year-old,
Right.
and the police officer told the man, you couldn't wait 6 months. Like, really, bro?
Yeah, to the age of consent in the state of New York.
And a lot of men feel that way. Other men were like co-signing on that. Like, yeah, like in other countries it's okay, like what you just said. Like in other countries it's okay, but we don't live in other countries. We live in the U.S. Okay.
But think about your own baby. Think about your own baby. My nephew turned 18 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's a baby. I know. He's a baby. He's a baby. Some 36-year-old
He's
woman.
a grown man.
Well, if he was arrested because he's a Puerto
That's
Rican,
what I'm saying.
He's a Puerto Rican boy.
He's a
young
Puerto Rican.
man.
He's a young
if
man
he was
who
arrested.
can vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. He can go to war. He can't buy beer though.
That boggles my
And
mind.
in New York, you can't buy cigarettes either.
Yeah.
But you know, go ahead over to the war and fight for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to Jake's Casino and gamble for us. That's fine. You can't smoke though. You can't have a shot at the bar that when you're gambling all your life savings with. Oh, and you can also get a credit card. Go ahead and do that.
Go into debt. But I'm just saying, but by all intents and
Ridiculous.
purposes for this conversation, he's still a baby. Imagine a 36-year-old woman would be trying to date him.
Oh my God.
I'd have to choke the shit out of her.
You wouldn't have enough time.
Why?
His parents would get to her before you.
Yeah, his mom would mollywop the fuck out of this. That woman wouldn't even step foot into their house.
So,
His mom
yeah,
would be on it. But
Whereas I don't think it would be the same with well, my brother's not 18 anymore. But for some reason I feel like it would have been okay.
Oh, in that household?
Like, oh, well, she's taking care of you.
Oh my God.
She got a good job, she got benefits.
That's what they care about.
Oh my. And no, it ain't my mother. Let's just say that, okay. Cover her.
You're right though.
You know
You
I'm
are
right.
right.
You know,
You're 1,000% right.
not that he would never. That's not like he's attracted to light and curly.
I would have to uppercut somebody who steps in foot
Young,
in my
light
home.
curly and young, I should say.
Yeah, but that's gotta like that age bracket's gotta move with his age bracket.
That's
the whole
problem.
point.
That's the problem with the Kids Too movement, is
Yeah.
because mofos, old men, are still attracted to the girl from elementary school, the girl from high school.
No
you know
good.
What I mean? Like,
No
it's
good.
just,
That male gaze. That
and
male.
using it to their advantage.
Right.
It's just disgusting.
Right.
Have you ever had that, like a male gaze, where you're like,
That I look or them look
no,
to me.
them look to you when you were a minor.
You met me. You met me.
But I don't
Young.
know what I know you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
But
dated.
for the purpose of this conversation,
I dated a boy who was a man while I was still a little girl.
but what do you consider a little girl?
I was
I'm talking minor.
I wasn't a minor. No, as a minor, no.
So don't come. You have a daughter who's a little girl.
I have a daughter who's a little girl.
That's the
I
other thing
wasn't
that
a
I don't like
yeah.
people do. Like he's a kid. No.
Oh, he's a kid if he's white and
12
got arrested. He's
Huh?
only a kid if he's white and got arrested.
Right. I don't like when people use that little girl, little kid. It's
I
like
was
you got a little girl,
20.
you got little kid, you
I
got
was
a little
20
boy.
dating a 31-year-old.
You were a young lady.
I was a young lady. I
A
was
young
20.
woman.
I was
really.
20 dating a 31-year-old. And thinking about it now, it was like, yo, what's wrong with you, bro? With the whole like, oh, you're so mature for your age. I'm still 20, looking like I'm 12. I look so young.
That's the thing that creeps me out. Even like, well, not anymore because I'm looking older. But there was a period in time where I was 30 and I was looking like even today I still get ID'd from time to time, but I would get ID'd buying scratch-offs. You had to be 18.
Yeah.
And I'd get ID'd and then you'd see this creepy old man just
Hey, young
like,
thing.
Hey, smile. Like, it is
That's
not my job to
disgusting.
make you feel good about yourself. Like, it was just.
But I was
My God,
always
I
very
can't.
young getting hit on by these older men, and it was like, I always found it gross. I always found it disgusting.
Yeah. And that's why I can believe these stories that come out of Hollywood, because
Of course.
we're not celebrities, but, well, we're famous to the people that listen to our podcast.
Hey.
but we experience a lot of things that they
Yeah.
talk about in one way or another.
Right.
You know?
You know, as big as Long Island is, it's still a small town, and you go to the same places all the time. You get to know people.
Yeah.
So like you get to like, you know me, I'm constantly calling everybody an acquaintance. So you get to know these acquaintances in the same places that you frequent, and it's just not. It's not good.
No.
It's not good. Like, the perception, like, obviously beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And if you can look at a frame of a young lady or a young man and think that that is sexually appealing, I have a
disgusting.
problem with you.
Yeah.
I have a and you know, as
Don't even come around me.
yeah, don't fucking talk to me. I know that there's you know, they keep speaking and toying with the idea that pedophilia is part of mental illness. But if you know it's wrong, why are you doing it under cloak and dagger?
It's only part of mental illness because so many white men are coming out doing it. You realize that? Like, the opioid crisis is so big now because.
Now it touched the
But
Anglo.
y'all didn't have a problem with heroin back in the
80s.
in the 70s and 80s, crack in the 80s and 90s. Oh, but now that it's pills that you get from the doctor, it's like
because
we have an
it
issue.
bled into the Anglo communities,
ridiculous.
so it's a problem. Now it's a crisis.
That's another
Now
show
it's a
for another
crisis.
day.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
The male gaze and how we're looking.
I remember. So this is this is this is the to the point where I know, like, okay, I really got issues
Hmm?
with, because like how people might perceive me, or even the people if I'm with a man that's older. So like I'll be in the city with my dad going to a Knicks game, and we got to cross the street, and he'll grab my hand so we can run across together. Like, just
He's your dad, yeah. You're still his
Meanwhile,
baby.
I'm like, oh my god, I hope people don't think we're together. You know what I mean? Because like, why am I holding this?
But he's your dad. It's instinct.
I know, but
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, mofos think we together and shit. It's like, this is my pops. You know, he's holding my hand all lovingly, like helping me across the street.
They be hugging you and
Yeah.
kissing you and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm
he's-
like, anybody looking? You know what I'm
he's
saying?
my dad, not my
I gotta
boyfriend.
tell people, like, hey, you ever do that? Like, you like point out the obvious. I'm not saying with, stop, Marissa. I'm saying just with anything, like, it can be anything in life. All of a sudden, you're like, hi, Uncle Eric. You know, hi, Uncle. You know what I mean? Just so people know this is like a relative. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad, look at this. Just so,
I want to be so fucked up right now.
Why?
I didn't get the opportunity to do that.
Oh my gosh, hate you right now. All right, let's transition. So what do you tell with the Kids Too movement? What do you tell? How do you have this conversation with children? I mean, you have children. You also work with children. Like, what are you supposed to say
In terms of like,
to explain it if they come to you about it? Because obviously there's kids on different levels. There's kids that actually know about it,
right?
and there's kids that don't. So when the situation comes and they're like, what, say a kid comes to you and says, what does the Me Too movement mean? What does Me Too mean?
Oh man, this is a good.
How do you have a conversation with them about
This
that?
is a good question, because you have to be appropriate, because not everybody knows the definitions of certain things. So I think you have to be appropriate, and part of the conversation is understanding that you have a voice and your voice is powerful, and looking for your person to say, I need help, and know that they're going to help you. Looking for your person where you are comfortable and you're safe and you know that they will protect you. So it has to do with you having your voice with your person and going to them whenever you need help. And it doesn't matter what that help means. What it means is, you know you need help, you might not know what it is, but you're asking for it. You just go to your person. And I know that's a very watered down, but I'm thinking young. But as they get older, it's remember that your body is yours and you must protect it.
It's like, what age do you know is appropriate and not? These kids are growing so quick. And just because your kid don't have a phone, don't mean another kid doesn't have a phone, and showing them stuff. And like, I saw this article on verywellfamily.com, and part of it says why you need to talk to your kids about Me Too. I'm just going to read the first paragraph. It said, as a parent, you have the power to take what this movement has started and make it meaningful in your kids' lives. Not only can you talk to your children about what the Me Too movement means and how it originated, but you can also use the experiences people share as teaching moments for your kids. Use it to educate them on what sexual assault, sexual harassment, and sexual bullying are, and how to identify it in their lives and the lives of their friends. I do remember, like, being a kid 40 years ago, 35 years ago. I say, like, between the 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of like the age where you start to, like, be very inquisitive
Mm-hmm.
on another level. Obviously,
Right.
you're inquisitive, you're
Right.
know, even
Right.
little. But as you get older, you know, you can check out the books you want to check out, and
Yeah.
other kids are talking about books. And this is before social media, so it's like everything was about reading.
Yeah.
And I remember just, like, wondering everything there is to know
Mm-hmm.
about different things, and realizing, you know, maybe the things that were happening to me were not, it started to make sense. Like, okay, this is not supposed to happen. You know, sex is supposed to be between a husband and a wife,
Mhm.
older, not kids and
Right.
an elderly person. This part of my body is nobody's supposed to see it.
Mhm.
I'm not supposed to walk around with no shirt on. Like, there's just a
Yeah.
lot of things that you just like, okay, like, you, not that you're like naive, but you're a kid, so you don't
Yeah.
recognize it. But I never had those conversations with my parents or my aunts, my uncles, nothing like that. It was just like, I read a book or whatever, a Judy
Yeah.
Blume book, and
Yeah.
realize, okay, well, they're living this way. Or I go to my friend's house and see that they're living a different way. They eat dinner at the kitchen table and they have conversation. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes, like, parents, they just get into their own world. It's not like they're being that that they don't care.
Yeah.
It's like parents got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
You got bills, they got all their kids, whatever is going on in their kids'
Your
lives.
kids have to play every sport while you make every
but
home
but
cooked
not
meal
every
plus
not every
this plus
parent
this plus that.
like not every kid gets to play sports. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm not even talking about, that's a whole nother aspect.
Right.
But I'm talking about just the everyday monotonous, go to
Right.
work, make sure dinner is ready for them, that they eat,
Mhm.
make sure they have money for school, to go to
Right.
school, make sure they do their homework, make sure that you got your work done
Yeah.
and that your life is prioritized. Make sure you check in with your friends or your family
yeah,
member.
oh my God.
And then,
Girl, I'm tired. Yeah.
But then that doesn't even include, like, okay, now we got to take care of their matches on the weekend, their extracurricular activities. That's a whole nother
Genuinely?
aspect that not every parent has kids doing after school. Most
Yeah.
parents, I don't think, do. I don't think most parents have kids doing after school activities, especially in the summer. I think a lot of parents do, but like in my neighborhood, those kids, they get off the bus and they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
They're not in sports, and a lot of these schools have gotten rid of like all these sports, and I don't know.
It's all in high school now. None of it's in middle and junior high. Well, middle school, yeah. So here's the commitment that we consistently need to make with ourselves and each other. It's you have to begin these conversations from day one, even as an infant. When you're caring for an infant, not everybody needs to be changing these diapers. So that's number one. You're adding boundaries to what and how. And constantly talking to them, like when a kid runs out of the bathroom naked and they're shaking their booty. Are you laughing in a room full of people, or are you saying, "Oh, that's private. This
Right.
is oh no, you don't show your naked body to people. Remember, this is private." There's this consistent conversations that you have to have. But not only that, I think you need to remember that I know I'm an extremist when it comes to this. I've had friends that I've had for 20 years that have never been to my house and met my kids. Listen, I have to, while I have complete control of their environment, I need to take advantage of that. I need to make sure that the tribe that I have around my kids from day one is the one that I handpicked. You can't just be having anybody around your kids.
But this goes back to what I was saying though earlier. How cognizant, maybe you are, but I don't know that most parents are cognizant of the people they have around their children.
And that's why I'm saying it's important from day one that you have to be cognizant about that. You have such a finite amount of time when you have complete control of an environment. You need to set those boundaries from day one, period, from day one. Like, I know a lot of people are very social. They like having a lot of people over their home. Oh yeah, bring whoever. For me, that's not okay. That's for me. I know it's okay for other people, but you have to remember that you still have to set boundaries. You have to consistently talk to your kids, but you also have to give your kids room to talk and ask you questions, even when you're uncomfortable.
Right.
You have to answer in an appropriate, what you deem as an appropriate way when they have questions. And you have to remember too, this is why I think it's really important to apologize to kids, because not only are you telling them that they're valued and they're important, but you're giving them a voice. If you from day one give a child a voice, and it's not give them what they want, it's not that. I mean, give them a voice, give them options, give them appropriate amount of way to say no to you and to say no to other people. Oh, give everybody a hug and a kiss goodbye. Now you're forcing that child to make it okay to show affection and to receive affection from somebody else. Loretta down the street with herpes on her lip, she came from church and wants to kiss all your kids? Absolutely not. If my kid says no and they don't know how to hug her, they're not a hugger. They're not going to do that to you. You show affection in an appropriate setting and to the appropriate person in an appropriate way. But that's just me.
I mean, that's important. I think though, like sometimes you can, like I said earlier, I don't know that parents can think about every single thing. There's probably things that you do that most parents don't do, and there's things that other parents do that you're not doing.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody's going to be
Nobody's perfect.
I know, like when I was growing up, we were always around like family and friends and stuff like that, but it was like there's no need for you to go with the adults. Hang out with the kids your age, and you can be learning some shit from the kids your age that's not always great, but the goal is to teach your kid.
Yes.
Because I think it's okay to have your kids exposed to all types of people.
Yeah.
But you need to prepare them for that exposure.
Right. And when it comes to like, oh wait a minute,
you can't hide them from everybody.
No, but this is what I'm saying, where you're giving them the voice, where it's like, oh wait a minute, I'm not comfortable. Let me do a check-in quick because I'm not sure about this. And with the whole like, hey, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to adults. Go away.
But I'm talking more. I agree with you. I'm thinking more of like the kids aspect.
Yeah.
Like teaching them like. You're going to be uncomfortable because you're the parent. You're always going to be like on guard, like what the fuck's going on up there. But you want to get to a point too where you don't have to do that. Yeah. Because you raised them to the point where they like, Mom, she got some shit on her lip. I don't feel comfortable. She wants me to kiss her, and I just ran away. Yeah. And you're like, you did the right thing.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying that's important to give them the voice.
Right.
It's important.
But I don't think it's
okay
to also not have them around people because you're afraid of what other people might do to your kid. You never know. Yeah. It's just it is what it is. But you know what kind of tribe you want for your kids. You, Marissa, know what kind of tribe you want for your kids, and you're doing your job making sure that happens. And hopefully, I know that you're doing a good job raising your kids and helping them speak up for what they want, but there's going to come a point where you're just not going to be there. Yeah. And you just got to pray that.
I have to trust that I did the right job, and I have to trust their opinion and their judgment. Right. That's the hard part. At what point do you trust? They're gonna fuck up. They are gonna fuck up. You fucked up. I've done some. I've done a lot of things. If only things I can't even repeat. Oy. Anyway. But what's the prayer? The prayer is that the fuck up is not terrible?
Yes. Yeah. The prayer is that it's a fuck up that doesn't get them in jail. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like right before it's like, you know what, I bow out.
Yeah, you know what, this ain't working. This ain't working.
And I know I've done things that should have landed me in jail, but
oh my word.
But here's the thing, my mother taught me how to talk myself out of that shit. Whether it's the situation, talk myself out of being in that situation, or talk myself out of the situation with the police officer. Yeah. Where, I come from the point of where I'm like, oh my God, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Apologetic. Yeah. You come like humble yourself. Yeah. Don't be popping off.
Don't pop off. Yeah.
So anyway, speaking about popping off, because I'm an angry black woman, so we're gonna go to that's trending. Yep, that's trending. So trending is the hashtag angry black woman because the Biden, they call them surrogates, but okay, whatever. The Biden surrogate, Hillary Rosen, and the Bernie Sanders surrogate, Nina Turner, were both on Cuomo Primetime the other day, a couple days ago. And they were having a spirited conversation.
Very spirited.
They were having a conversation about like moderate white people. And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They were having a conversation about moderate white people, and basically they disagreed when it came to how Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King characterized these people. He said that in one of the speeches he gave that it was, you should fear moderate white people more than the KKK, because you don't know when they come in. Like the agenda of the KKK. Right. Moderate white people, not so much.
It's the devil is better than the devil you don't know.
Right. Yes. You better preach, girl. So they got into it, and Nina Turner, Hillary Rosen was saying her piece and misquoting Dr. King, whereas Nina Turner came in and tried to correct her. In the process of correcting her, Hillary Rosen started speaking over her, and then Cuomo, with his thinking he's making peace, which he wasn't, he told them both to shut up, and he ended it with only light can drive out darkness. This is the most watered down quote that every person posts on social media for Dr. King's birthday. It's like, okay, do you know anything else? Like, the man gave hundreds of speeches, but that's the one line. Anyway, from there, Hillary Rosen, I guess she felt the heat of social media, and she
Can I
tweeted.
read it? Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this tweet is from Hillary Rosen, feeling the heat from social media. Hillary Rosen writes, on air Thursday, I said my colleague at Nina Turner didn't have standing to use MLK Jr. That was wrong. I am sorry for saying those words. Please no need to defend me and attack angry black women. They have standing. I always need to listen more than I talk. We rise together.
When I read that, like, okay, so I saw the hashtag trending angry black woman. I was like, I don't understand. Like, are they calling Nina Turner an angry black woman? Like, I couldn't understand what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the tweet. I was like, oh, I was pissed. I was seriously pissed. Like, I feel like as
what are you talking about,
women,
angry black women? What
it's
are you
like
talking
black women
about?
can never have an opinion
Because you're trifled
always,
into you're an angry black woman.
Like, anytime we feel passionate about one thing, or we raise our voice about an opinion to
or
try to
just have an opinion.
like,
period.
Right. It reminds me of when men, although the angry black woman has a different connotation because I believe it's a race-based thing that's been happening for
Right.
decades.
Well,
But when men are always telling women to, like, calm down.
calm down. Yeah.
Why are you so angry? Why are you so mad?
Don't be
like-
so emotional.
Don't be
A woman is emotional, but a man is spirited. He's a
right,
boss.
or passionate.
He's a boss.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
Exactly.
But don't be black. Don't be black and have an opinion.
Right.
Because it's just even worse.
So after that, homegirl Hillary Rosen got inundated with a lot of, bitch, who the fuck you calling?
Yeah.
And I even tweeted a picture of myself, a picture that I know that you've always hated. I took in your kitchen years ago.
Yeah, I love that. You know what's
you
so
told
funny?
me I hated. You was like, I hate this picture. You look so. You didn't say angry. You look so sad, depressed.
Yeah, I don't like when you look sad, but as I looked at it, I looked at it yesterday with different eyes because I feel like now that pose is more of a I think because I knew what you were going through in the moment, I looked at that photo as being sad. But now as I looked at it yesterday, I'm like, this is such a pensive pose, and you were just so self-reflective in this moment in your life.
I wasn't angry, that's for sure. I wouldn't take a picture being when you're angry, you're foaming at the mouth, and I've been angry. There's no photos to depict that.
No, there's not.
So then Hillary Rosen tweeted after. We apologize for the background noise. So Hillary Rosen tweeted after. She wrote, "I'm horrified that anyone would think I would call Nina Turner an angry black woman. I would never. After the TV hit last night, I was getting tons of ugly messages to keep fighting for her using that phrase. I was trying to tell people to stop because I knew I needed to apologize. I unequivocally know I disrespected her, and I wanted to make it right by telling disgusting folks to stop. Wow, did that tweet go wrong? I am so sorry. I called Nina to apologize directly. Whether or not she takes my call, I am still humbly sorry."
As someone who is on a public forum consistently speaking about, especially someone who's on a public forum speaking of political pundits, Your ass should have done known better in the first fucking place.
Like,
So shut the fuck up with
those
your
words
apology.
were intentional.
That was intentional.
You don't
You
string
read
those words together.
you read your tweets and was like, oh, she's not an angry. No, you're right. She ain't an angry. No, don't. She's not an angry black woman. No, you're right. No. No. You read those tweets for what they were. That's where your headspace was.
Yep.
You should have known better as someone who is on a public forum, especially speaking of political pundits. So I don't accept your apology. I hope she don't take your damn phone call. And when homegirl goes back on CNN, Chris motherfucking Cuomo better have a fucking apology and a right one. How dare you, first of all?
I know.
Do your fucking job, stupid ass.
It's on so many levels, but then like on the personal level, for me, it's just like, it's like one of those things, like, whatever. Like, you know, when you get beat down so much, you're like, just punch me again. I don't care. I can take it. I've realized I can take a lot. Like, what is this gonna do? Is people gonna fake outrage, and then the next person is gonna say it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
unless it actually evokes change, it doesn't really
But
matter.
here's the thing, though.
And what is that change gonna come in the form of? She's gonna get fired from the Biden campaign?
She ain't gonna
Bernie's
get
already
fired,
telling.
yeah.
Bernie's like, and he's like, Biden needs to tell her to apologize. It's like,
Biden, first of all, that ain't her father. He don't need to tell her to do fucking nothing. And first of all, Biden, get your fucking creepy fingers off people. Quit touching everybody. Back the fuck up.
but see, nobody had a problem with this 10 years ago. That's what I'm saying. The Me
But
Too
they
movement
did.
has changed. They really did. No, the
yeah,
Me Too movement.
not in the wave it is
No.
today. No.
Because I remember when we went to Greece. Remember the man was touching you.
That happens to me all the time as a younger woman.
And another person, God rest that person's soul, used to always do that to you, touch your face, and you would. If you have to tell me about it, then I know you're uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable.
So it's like,
That used to happen to me as a young woman all the fucking time. But I never felt empowered. I didn't allow myself to feel empowered to be like, why the fuck are you touching me?
nobody taught you how to be empowered.
Nobody
told
yeah.
you to tell somebody, I don't
Yeah.
like this. And like with me, I never used to hug. I never, like, that's just,
Mhm.
so nobody had to teach me because my family never did it.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you hugging me for?
Yeah.
Like, it was very like, no, like, we
ain't gonna do this today.
Then you're like, you come onto my home, into my house, and you're hugging everybody, and everybody's like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at them like, why the fuck you hugging her? Like, you don't. You
Yeah,
don't
but
hug
cut to
her.
if I walk in and I don't hug nobody, they're like, is she alright?
Exactly, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you only know what you know.
Right,
And so
right.
I have no problem with Biden, like, hugging people,
Mhm.
but now that he's been told, he's toned it down a lot.
Yeah.
He's not like, but if you look at clips from back in the day,
Yeah, it was like, oh, bro.
yeah. But you know, the man is like in his like, you know how hard it is to tell
change,
somebody.
yeah.
At this point, it's like I'm not gonna get on his case when we got R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein out. Like, really, I'm just like, it's fake. He's not telling people to grab people by the pussy, okay? So let's not.
Let's put that energy where it needs to be.
Yeah. Save that energy for the right people.
You who've known me from that young lady who was like getting like grabbed constantly to the old lady I am today. Did you ever?
You wish you was grabbed still?
No, I do not. Did you ever notice the shift in my energy as to, because that don't happen no more?
I think your energy shifted to, you're not as outgoing as you used to be.
No, I'm not. Yeah, you're right.
That if anything changed,
Mhm.
that's what changed.
Oh, okay.
You don't make an effort anymore. You don't. You
No, I
just
don't.
you just don't give a shit.
No.
Like, you're not trying no more.
Yeah.
You're just like, I got my home life. You know, my parents passed away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Whatever.
Fuck it. I don't owe you hello, a drop by.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? I think that didn't come with like, I don't think it came from depression, especially when my mom died, but I think that came more with the whole like, when my mom was alive, I feel like I was consistently, because I never felt validated by her and I never felt important to her.
Right.
But when she wasn't here no more, it's like, all right, well, I'm not working for it anymore. If I ain't working it for her, I'm not looking that for nobody else. And I feel like that's when that whole thing shifted for
Well,
me.
I just have to say, like, I appreciate for both of us that this show can be a therapeutic for us, but let's stay focused on angry black women, okay?
It ain't about you, Marissa. It's about the angry
I,
black
I
women.
love your mother. God
But it's
rest her
about
soul.
angry black women.
So anyway,
So why you
let's
gotta be
end.
so angry, black
Oh
woman?
my God. So back to that.
So wait. I have a story. You and I were somewhere. This was like we were at some bar downtown, and we were talking to these two. It was like an industry party, and there was like this beautiful like lounge. There were like these seats. It looked like a Art Deco, and I can't remember what listening party it was because there was like a cacophony of people to closest to one bar, but then you could get your drinks and sit in like these chairs. It looked like a lounge area, like it almost looked like an airport waiting area. And I don't know if you remember this. It was like 2, 3 gentlemen that we were talking to, and I don't remember seeing them again at another industry party, but we're talking to them, and one guy just like kept interrupting you because I forgot what we were talking about, and he's like, and you're like, yeah, but you're not listening, and he's like, no, but let me talk, and let me talk, and you're like, but you spoke, let me, and he's like, and I remember him saying to you, I'm like just sitting back watching you guys go back and forth, and I remember him going, but why are you so angry all? Like, why are you angry? We're just talking. And you're like, I'm not angry. You're not listening to me. Let me talk. And he's like, but why do you got to be angry about it? Why are you angry? Why angry? Just like, let me talk. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that was the moment where like that education light bulb like flicked on, where like the male, female sort of like, it's okay for him to interrupt you, talk over you, and only get his point across, but it wasn't okay for you to speak and have your opinion and have him see it from a different point of view. It was that whole like, why is it okay for him to do that, but she can't even just fucking talk?
Say what you
Just
gotta say.
let her talk.
And I'm not even like a big talker. Like I'm gonna say what I gotta say and dip
No.
out.
And it was, but the thing was, it's like, you're like, you let him finish, and then you were giving your opinion. He's like, but no, but wait. And you're like, but let me finish. Just let me get my thought out. Just let me tell you.
Right.
Like, you don't know where you're going with this train of thought. And it's one of those things, like, I can't. And then I remember, cut to, like, I don't know, however many years after that, I was at a baby trade show. And I was walking around looking at products. And there were 3 women and 1 man on one team. And it was almost opposite. 3 men and 1 woman on the other team. The team with the 3 men were selling a product, while the other one were more like a marketing division from another place.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the women from the marketing place goes, oh, I'm curious because it was about breastfeeding. It was a breastfeeding tool. And I was like, I'm curious because, when you're breastfeeding X, Y, and Z, and the guy goes, well, no, you're wrong. Typically when women are breastfeeding, and I remember being in the back, and I'm all animated like a little like troll doll, and I'm like, I do like the what? And I remember like the from the marketing team, the 3 women kind of did the excuse me, and the 1 woman from the sales team for the breastfeeding tool, she kind of like looked like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Right.
You're gonna mansplain breastfeeding to a woman who did fucking breastfeed? And we were just like, and then the one guy from the marketing team, he was the lead person because the marketing part was him. He's like the marketing. He talks about like baby gear, and he has like these people help him on his team that talk about other things, but he doesn't talk about breastfeeding. He says typically what I've heard. He never says typically women. Typically what I've heard is, but she's the expert, so I'm going to defer to her. And they like meet together in like speaking engagements. And he goes, hold on a second. Wait, hold on a second. I'm hearing what you're saying, but she has a valid question and she has a valid concern of the product. But let me just say this. I don't want to talk to you anymore because you literally stopped a woman and a mother who did breastfeed. I don't think you did. I could be wrong. But you're going to mansplain to someone on my team and a woman about breastfeeding? Are you insane? And he was like, well, no, I'm just telling you, typically this is the research. And he goes, I don't care what research tells you. This is a woman who actually breastfed, and you're going to mansplain to her breastfeeding? This meeting is over. And they walked away, like the team walked away, and the 3 men and the 1 woman. And he's like, but am I wrong? Am I wrong? That's data. And she goes, it's not that you were wrong. And I understand that that's the data we collected. But the way you rolled out your information was wrong. And he's like, well, how else was I supposed to say it? And she goes, you were supposed to listen and then answer. And he was just
we
like,
we should have a show on mansplaining. It should be one of our shows.
But I kept using the phrase mansplaining, but what I wanted to, the takeaway from all of this, and I shouldn't have said that, but what I want to take away from all of this is, obviously I'm not a black woman, and I can't talk for black women.
Oh, you're 18%.
I'm 18%. Well, the 18% of me that will speak for the tribe is, unfortunately, when we open our mouths and when we do have need for conversation, it's never perceived in the spirit in which it was intended. Shut the fuck up and listen.
All I can say is that as a black woman, I hate when people say that, but it's true. I am a black woman. I just feel like I'm always having to censor myself in a way to make other people feel comfortable.
Them days is over. I'm done with that.
And you know what's? I realized I did it last night. So like I said, I posted that picture, and I explained what happened, what the picture, why I posted that hashtag to my aunt one way, and I explained it to your aunt another way. A black woman and a white woman.
Oh.
And I was like, why did I do that? Was I trying to control the narrative about black women to a white person as opposed to a black person? You notice?
Oh my God, I'm reading it right now. Why'd you do that?
That is what being a black woman is. You navigate the world the best way that you can because people have preconceived ideas about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that, like, damn. And I it's part of our nature.
Wow.
You just, even when, like, I'll talk to my mom, and she'll have a conversation with me,
right?
And I can tell when she's in a store.
I'm because like, she's talking
or she's around other people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you must be around other people. She's like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm talking to say, hey, how are you? You had a good day? You know, it's very
it's a different...
natural. But that's what, I don't find the same situation when I'm with, like, I'll have a conversation with you, and you're not a black woman, you're not a white woman. But I think that, I'm not going to, that's another, anyway.
No, let's finish. I want to hear it.
I think that you have more white influence on your life than you do black influence on your life. It's true. Like, you just.
That's your opinion. You
have black people influence on your life? You were raised around black people?
I was raised around a multitude of people.
No, I said, were you raised around black people?
A multitude of people, yeah. I was raised around a multitude of people. But I don't know if we clarified this before. You know what? It's your opinion, and you can have it.
No,
it's your opinion.
No, but the problem is I'm stating an opinion as if it's fact. If you're saying that it's not fact, then I have to fall back and say my apologies. I didn't realize you were raised around black people too, and I apologize for that. With that being said, I think that when I have called you, I don't instinctively know that you're around other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Your voice pretty much stays the same. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'll be like, is somebody there? And you're like, yeah. And I'll be like, oh, okay. But I'll know that based on background, not because of the change in your voice.
Oh. And why do you think that is?
I honestly believe black women have many faces, many facets. It's weird. It's not explainable. It's like we
talked about this before.
We have many hats that we've had to have. You know, we have to deal with black men in a certain way. You have to deal with white men in a certain way. Well, like every time I date a white guy, I'm like, have you ever been with a black woman before? And they say no. I'll be like, look, I'm not trying to be your project. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy, but they don't, because they don't know. It's not easy going out in the world with a black woman. I'm just anyway. And then if you start like getting passionate about something, it's like you're angry. My ex-boyfriend, who was black, always be like, "Why are you so angry?" And that to me is like, trigger. Who the fuck you calling it? Like, I'm angry because you're pissing me off. Okay.
You making me
But
mad,
you're angry
motherfucker.
too. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, good show. You gotta,
Oh,
let's end this
wow.
'cause I'm getting pissed.
Why are you so angry, black woman?
Anyway, Marissa, it was good talking to you today. Where can they catch us?
Yep, yeah, yes, 18 on Instagram and Twitter. The Yep, yeah, yes podcast on Facebook. You can peruse us for your ears on all your streaming devices that allow for podcasts to be played. All you have to do is say, please play the Yep, yeah, yes podcast.
See, this is why I love you. If you take your time, you can spit it out like Jim. You rush through it, you're nervous. I always, you took, high five. I love it.
Oh, don't touch me, Corona.
Oh, see? I drank a beer though.
Hey,
that
oh, then
combats it, right?
you're good.
Or did you
You
catch
put
it?
lime?
Or did that combat it? Or no, Tito's vodka. I wash my hands with
Tito's vodka.
Did you hear about that?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Tito.
Black people.
Oh, Tito.
I can't. Anyway, until next time, y'all.
Have
Have a good day. Tell somebody you love them.
yeah, and
And if you
try
see
not
a black
to be
woman, don't be thinking she angry. And stay away from little kids if you're an adult.
fuckers.
Don't fuck her. That's what I'm saying.
Don't be a fuckers.
Okay.
If you're 30, you got a limit on that. Where how low you can go,
How low can you go?
or even how old? Should it be the like? What if you're 35
See, that's
and you're just
another-
like,
let's-
I
let's-
like 50-year-old women?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that another time.
Okay.
Because every time I think about an older man, I think about saggy balls, and I'm about to be in the age group with the saggy boobs. So it's like, really, Tamika, who is you? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's all gross. It can't get that much grosser. So,
Okay.
oh God. All right.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
y'all. Bye.
Bye.